Today is Sunday, July the 15th, 2018. Hello, and welcome to Weekly Astrology Notes for the week of July 15th through July 22nd, 2018. Highlights for this week. Well, unlike last week, where we had lots of aspects, this week we have just one, and it's going to be an easy one. Venus sextile Jupiter on the 22nd. So there's really not much going on astrologically this week. So let's start with Sunday, where we're going to have the moon in Virgo. It's going to keep us focused on the material plane, as the moon forms a grand trine with Saturn and Uranus in earth signs. Then on Monday, moon in Virgo keeps us busy. We got the moon sextile Jupiter, keeps us optimistic in the morning. It's a good time for business. In the afternoon, moon opposition Neptune gets us connected with the non-material world, also feeling a bit delusional. And in the evening, moon trine Pluto enables us to make the most out of what we have. It's a good time for social gatherings as well. People should be more helpful than usual today. And on Tuesday, we've got a void of course from early in the morning until early in the afternoon. And in the evening, moon in Libra squares Saturn, lowers the energy level, kind of puts a strain on relationships. But late in the evening, moon trine Mars brings a burst of energy. On Wednesday, moon in Libra is quiet with just one aspect, moon square Pluto, which is going to be very late in the evening. So Wednesday should be a pleasant and harmonious day, good for all one-to-one encounters, as well as for business and legal negotiations. However, I should mention Mars, while retrograde, is conjunct the South Node on Wednesday as well, which should keep us more inwardly focused. And then on Thursday in the afternoon, the first quarter moon brings the usual crisis for fulfillment, followed by a short void, of course, until the early evening. Late in the evening, moon opposition Uranus brings some restless energy and some surprises. And on Friday in the morning, moon in Scorpio, squaring Mars retrograde in Aquarius, could make tempers flare and make it a bad time for business, especially the stock market. However, Friday evening looks really good with the moon sextile Venus and moon conjunct Jupiter, making a good night to socialize, be in a crowd. And on Saturday in the morning, moon in Scorpio sextile Pluto makes us resourceful, could bring some disruptions, but for the better. In the afternoon, moon square Mercury hampers communication, but makes it a bad time for business. And on Sunday, we've got a really great day. It's kind of perfect that the week ends on some really good aspects. Very early in the morning, we've got moon trine Sun. It relieves inhibition, followed by a 1-hour void, of course, as moon enters Sagittarius. And that's going to bring a lot of optimism. In the afternoon, moon sextile Mars brings a time of good physical health. And best of all, we've got Venus sextile Jupiter. It's exact in the morning, but it makes it a lazy day. Time to indulge, relax, have a good time, attend a social gathering. It's a great time for relationships as well. And of course, it's good for business as folks are in a spending mood. I would say it's kind of the perfect aspect for a Sunday. And at the end, I wish I could have found the chart for that guy Strozik, or Stroke, whatever, but can't find it on the internet. However, I did find Lisa Page, and also I'm going to go over the transits for Rod Rosenstein. And also I want to talk about the fact that we're having an extended Mercury square Jupiter aspect these days, due to the fact that Jupiter's going stationary direct recently, and Mercury is going to go stationary retrograde next week. So they're moving kind of slow, and we get 3 passes of this Mercury square Jupiter over the course of the next month and a half. So I'll talk about that. So let's start with Sunday the 15th. In the morning, moon enters Virgo. We're more fastidious and focused on the details for the next couple of days. Moon is active in Virgo, where it likes to get a lot of work done and looks to get ahead, as well as very helpful towards others. Very good time for planets in Virgo these days, with the grand trine to Saturn and Uranus, keeping us steady on the Earth plane. In the early afternoon, moon trine Uranus. first of two trines this afternoon, so we're looking for opportunities to get ahead and ways to work with others. The trine from Virgo to Taurus is characterized as skillful use of personal resources. And the moon trine Saturn later in the afternoon is very much the same way. It's trine from Virgo to Capricorn, keeping things practical and orderly, very methodical and productive. Get a lot of emotional fulfillment from attending to duty and responsibility. And then in the evening, moon conjunct Venus. Time to relax, brings pleasant moods. Nice aspect to end the weekend. Okay, moving along to Monday, the 16th. Starting in the morning, moon in Virgo, sextile Jupiter and Scorpio. Has us feeling optimistic. And as well, that also brings skillful use of energy. A lot of good things for planets in Virgo these days. It also gives us a good sense of timing and good time for business. And then in the early afternoon on Monday, we've got the moon opposition Neptune. Emotional energy kind of works overtime because, of course, Virgo rules work, so it keeps the emotional energy active. And then when you get that opposition to Neptune, it just really expands and dissolves our energy, so we feel like we need to do a lot to kind of compensate for it. The energy works overtime, but you can get a lot accomplished when that happens. Anyway, you may need to sacrifice your emotional needs for someone else. We're very helpful, but easily diluted. And as I say, I have found that I can get a lot accomplished if I stay focused during these aspects, because there's so much activity going on. And then in the evening on Monday, moon trine Pluto. Very productive aspect. More energy. Able to use it skillfully and methodically. Able to sense an opportunity and have the courage to reach for it. Focused towards a commitment to a cause. You can make improvements in your life, a change for the better. And also can be very helpful towards someone else, someone who's close to you, and you can help them make a change for the better in their life. So that's a very productive aspect for Monday evening. Moving along to Tuesday. Actually, it's very early in the morning. We got moon sextile sun. Cancer rules the stomach and Virgo rules the digestion. So with this sextile, it's a good time for eating. Always a pleasant aspect that brings a relief from subconscious fears. It's a good time to share with your friends and family. And then we've got a void, of course, that begins from the very early morning until the early afternoon when the moon enters Libra. So we're more balanced and diplomatic for the next couple of days. Desire harmony and intellectual exchange. Business negotiations are favored. Relationships fare better, and it's a good time to spend with your partner. Although this aspect in the evening might seem a little contradictory to that, we got the moon square Saturn. And it makes the energy slow down, feel like withdrawing for a while to rejuvenate. Sometimes it makes you feel pessimistic, brings a rigid attitude and deflated ego. And secrets are revealed. Talk a little bit more about that at the end of the video in the transits for Lisa Page. She had a nice Libra to Capricorn square this week as she was revealing secrets about the FBI. But anyway, back to this. Relationships can suffer from career obligations, and actually that seems to be another thing that happened with her. So moving along to the end of Tuesday, late in the evening, we've got the moon trine Mars. This is a really nice one in air signs. Good mental and physical health. Able to assert yourself in a positive manner. More emotional energy. Enthusiastic in our interactions with others. Some excitement in the air. However, with Mars retrograde, initiating new projects, which is what we feel like doing sometimes with these moon trine Mars, it may not be the best idea. A lot to consider with this Mars retrograde these days. Okay, moving along to Wednesday, the 18th. Starting late in the morning, we've got the moon square Pluto. Strong burst of energy brings insecurities to the surface. People tend to isolate themselves and put up their guard. It can make people vindictive or jealous, worried about what they don't have. And that's because Pluto is all about money and resources, and that square brings that emotional insecurity about having enough of them, worried that other people have more than you do, might feel the need to hoard what you have, don't want to share. But really, that's exactly what you should do, realizing that the resources from which you're taking it, limitless in terms of energy. I'm not talking about physical resources, but in terms of energy, there's a limitless source of energy in the universe, and if you can access that, you can really change your perspective about Pluto. When it rules this healing energy that Pluto brings, and that, unlike things like oil and money in the bank, well, healing energy is limitless. And when you associate Pluto with that healing energy, you really get in touch with that limitless resources of the universe that you truly do have available to you. So that's why I say, take a different idea with Pluto and understand you don't need to hoard. Really just need to access more. It can make us very productive, very resourceful. You just need to be sure to consider the rights of others. And about midday, we're going to be having Mars conjunct the South Node. You'll see it here at 6 degrees of Aquarius. And it's while Mars is retrograde. So this one is about confronting ourselves about our past, especially while Mars, like I say, is retrograde. Two things about this aspect is that, one, it's a time of intense focus and concentration of our ego energies. And number two, it can bring up things related to the past. Confronted, you might have to confront things from your past. The Saturn quality of the South Node, because the South Node is kind of like Saturn and the North Node is kind of like Jupiter. But that Saturn quality already means a slowing down of the Mars energy, and add that retrograde motion to it, and it can bring a time of intense internal focus, really going within, withdrawing from the outer world while you focus and work hard to preserve what you have. It's not a time of outward expansion. Ego energies are repressed. Could bring up frustration and ego battles, especially amongst friends and associates, people in the same political group, and that's ruled by Aquarius. So that's something to consider for this Wednesday. All right, moving along to Thursday, the 19th. In the middle of the night, we've got Moon sextile Mercury. This one's a good aspect for recreation and romance because it's the sextile from Leo to Libra. Communication flows smoothly, gives you good instincts, and it's a good time for business. And in the early afternoon, we've got the Moon square Sun, the first quarter moon, which gives us the usual crisis for fulfillment. This month, it's Cancer to Libra. It means insecurities, which come from Cancer, interfere with the one-to-one interactions of Libra. We're more sensitive, easily hurt. You need nurturing from your partner and the people around you. Overcome insecurities and avoid being too emotional with others. That's the challenge this month to establishing this month's growth cycle. And then we've got a void, of course, that begins in the early afternoon and continues until the early evening when the moon enters Scorpio. So we're more sensitive and moody for the next couple of days. Do things with more intensity, kind of all or nothing, more commitment. But we have access to more energy and a lot more healing energy. And it enables you to change your base emotional state. That's what's so great about the moon in Scorpio. It's important not to stagnate during this time. There's nothing worse for Scorpio than stagnation. You want to keep your energy moving, overcome obstacles, control your impulses so you can harness more energy. Lots of aspects for the moon in Scorpio these days. So I would say lots of opportunities to upgrade your base emotional state. Starting with this one could bring some disruptions in the evening on Thursday. Moon in Scorpio opposition Uranus in Taurus. Feeling uneasy and defiant. rebellious, desire to break free of restrictions. As well, attracted to the unusual or what is ever different from your norm. Don't want to be controlled, feel an urge for change, often for the wrong reasons. Just, I want to change because I need change. And that's what causes disruptions and disagreements. People want to break out of their commitments suddenly. Can also bring out some strange and unpredictable behavior, some of it aggressive and unwelcoming. So use caution when traveling to strange or dangerous places or operating dangerous machinery under that one. That's late on Thursday evening. Okay, moving along to Friday, the 20th. In the middle of the night, Moon sextile Saturn. Focus on duty and obligation. Opportunity to break through blockages and make headway. And that's because that Scorpio energy really gets fixed and gets going when it's focused, when you add in that Capricorn energy. So you can break through blockages with that Scorpio to Capricorn sextile. Still on Friday morning, we've got the Moon in Scorpio square Mars in Aquarius. This one brings strong emotions come to the surface. Impulsive, but Mars is retrograde, so aggressive acts come back at you. So beware of self-sabotage. Think before you commit. In these signs, keeping secrets by withholding vital information is an act of aggression. You know, the square from Scorpio to Aquarius is characterized as something having to do with vital information. It's either information that needs to be kept secret in the public realm in order to maintain the integrity of the individual, or secrets that need to be revealed in the public realm in order to maintain the integrity of the group. So what happens here is the issue of vital information. What should be kept secret or what should be revealed, it becomes a very important issue. And if you withhold vital information that should be revealed at these times, it can often be considered an act of aggression because you're really undermining somebody and their ability to function in the social sphere and kind of taking control of that. So you really need to be considerate of the rights of others during an aspect like this one. And then it gets a lot lighter later in the day. We've got a couple of really great aspects for Friday evening, starting with the late afternoon. Moon sextile Venus, sensitive, warm, and considerate, as well as very helpful. And then in the early evening, Moon conjunct Jupiter, an excellent aspect for Friday night activities, which should be abundant this evening because everyone loves to be in a crowd with the Moon-Jupiter aspects. Good time to be in a crowd. Optimistic, positive attitude, pleasant disposition, abundant warmth and forgiveness, and desire to share yourself with others. And then moving along to Saturday, but really it's just past midnight, so it's still kind of late Friday evening. We've got the wonderful Moon in Scorpio trining Neptune in Pisces, feeling very sensitive and dreamy, poetic and artistic, open to the subtle vibrations around you. Also more psychic, especially in these signs, able to sense what others are feeling, and other people can sense what you're feeling as well. Desire to help, even to the point of being sacrificing yourself or your emotional needs for the benefit of someone else. Desire to fulfill your partner's emotional needs. Good aspect for coupling, and late Friday evening should be a really good time for relationships, and that's because it's all about fulfillment of emotional needs. The water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Cancer is the first water sign. It's your emotional needs. Scorpio is the second water sign. It's your partner's emotional needs. And Neptune is the third water sign, and it's our collective emotional needs. So as you can imagine, with the Moon in Scorpio trining Neptune in Pisces, it's all of this water, all of this fulfillment of emotional needs. So there's just a lot of good energy that can be shared with people, a lot of helpful, compassionate energy that goes around in a group. Very nice aspect. And then still in the morning on Saturday, this one should get us going and get us out of bed. Moon sextile Pluto, Moon in Scorpio. All of that Scorpio energy brings a strong burst of energy, as well as intense emotions come to the surface. It can be disruptive, but can be put to good use, especially in the home. As you may recall, that sextile, Scorpio to Capricorn. You can make a breakthrough. That Scorpio energy gives you the stamina, and Capricorn gives you that focus. And so you can really make nice headway during aspects like that. Like I say, should get us out of bed in the morning on Saturday. And then in the early afternoon, Moon square Mercury makes us a bit impulsive. Strong emotions interfere with normal communication and thinking processes. You might want to use caution when operating machinery or driving, especially with the Moon in Scorpio. People are very intense and they commit, and it's hard to pull back, that fixed Scorpio energy. So use caution. All right, moving along to Sunday, the 22nd. In the middle of the night, Moon trine Sun. Always a wonderful aspect. Lots of creativity. Our fears subside. You can let down your guard a bit, and you can share yourself more easily with others. Cancer to Scorpio. Once again, able to share your intimate feelings with another, and they with you. It goes very well with the next aspect. And we're going to have a short void, of course, as well on Sunday morning. And during that time, Venus sextile Jupiter. So that will be 13 degrees of Virgo to 13 degrees of Scorpio. It's a very easygoing aspect. It brings a pleasant disposition, encourages us to relax, have a good time, go to a party, spend time with friends, not feeling like work. And this actually should be in effect on Friday evening. Now that I think about it, it's so early on Saturday morning. So it should, Sunday morning. So it should make Saturday evening quite pleasant as well. Saturday evening would be a good time for social gatherings, because this aspect would really benefit those a lot. A desire to indulge, spend money, or a little bit louder, more humorous, extravagant. We're interested in luxury and comfort. It's a lucky aspect as well, but you need to get up and make it happen. Both signs have a tendency to crave love and sex, so this is the perfect aspect to share with your partner. Also, Scorpio gives that quality of being able to make a commitment. So it's a great aspect to start a relationship. So put yourself in the right place on Saturday evening when this aspect is going to be strong. As well, it will still be strong on Sunday for most of the day as well. And then still in the middle of the night on Sunday, the Moon enters Sagittarius after a short void, of course. So we're more optimistic for the next couple of days. Sagittarius sees a world of possibilities, and we want to learn more, get better educated, reach out to foreigners, and expand our horizons. And then a wonderful aspect to start that off in the early afternoon, Moon sextile Mars. The Sagittarius to Aquarius sextile is the best aspect for yoga I have found. You want to do something new, that Aquarius energy, enlightening the mind, and Sagittarius wants to stretch the muscles and expand. So that sextile is just great for yoga or any sort of body movement therapy, anything to get you to expand your range of motion. Lots of physical energy and desire to move your body in different ways. And then, happy birthday to the Leos out there. The Sun enters Leo on Sunday afternoon. So Sun is in its dignity in Leo, where it's naturally self-expressive. Doesn't need anyone else's permission. Just go ahead and express yourself. Creative and proud about it. As we move out of Cancer, where creative energy is focused in the home environment, Sun in Leo represents the start of a new cycle. And we are free to let the creative juices flow, letting go of inhibitions. Open our heart as well, I should say. Leo rules the heart. So you might find an opening of your fourth chakra, letting go of inhibitions and fears, more courage, a desire to be on stage and to teach and to spend more time with your children. Okay, so that's it for this week's aspects. Excuse me, make that the 25th, late in the evening. So this Mercury square Jupiter is going to be happening for an extended period of time. We already had the first pass, and that was on July the 9th, when Mercury was direct and Jupiter was retrograde. The second pass is going to be August the 10th, when Mercury is retrograde and Jupiter direct, and then once again August 27th, when both planets are direct. So you can see basically from early July until late August, this aspect is within orb, and it's therefore in effect. And it kind of reminds me of the extended Mars square Uranus that we're going through these days. You know, for the same reason. Mars is going retrograde, and so is Uranus. So we get this for a very long period of time. And I'm thinking about the effects of this aspect. Now, the traditional effects we can infer, such as it's going to bring more optimism, a desire to make long-range plans in your life, ability to see the big picture, connect the dots, and extrapolate. Along with, the typical Jupiter energy of overlooking the details, don't want to be bothered with that, and sometimes embellishing the facts, making things seem bigger than they really are. And those are, like I say, the traditional effects that we can expect. But as I see it, this aspect means so much more, because it's giving us a lot more conscious attention to what's going on with Jupiter these days, which is now tearing through the last degrees of Scorpio very quickly. And this aspect could be a very good thing by giving us so much conscious attention about what's happening with Jupiter these days. While Jupiter's in Scorpio, it's in the last step of the 12-step process that begins with Sagittarius. So during this time, we're supposed to be learning new things like Scorpio things, alternative healing, and esoteric studies, things that you might normally overlook. You need to dig deeper and get more facts and enlighten yourself and allow your perspective to be purged of impurities, okay? Because that Scorpio energy is like the energy of a lava from the volcano. It burns away all of the impurities. And that's what we're supposed to be doing now, burning away all of the false perceptions. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, which says, I perceive. So that's why I say you're purging those false perceptions and opening our minds to alternative healing remedies and so forth. And we should be looking for things that we missed in the current Jupiter cycle as we prepare for the next Jupiter cycle. So we need this information and healing to help resolve the past 12 years of growth, things that worked out and maybe things that didn't work out. So we're digging deep and asking ourselves questions, what has been missing in our perspective, and looking to correct our past mistakes, forgive ourselves, and move on. And this is just absolutely the most perfect aspect for doing that, because Mercury square Jupiter allows yourself to forgive and correct your past mistakes. So this is a very opportune aspect. This Mercury retrograde is going to be very helpful to us in this way. And in addition, for this reason, I believe that on a political level, this aspect has manifested as the walk away movement. You might want to check this out and search about it. It's a group of disenfranchised Democrats who are moving away from the Democrats and moving towards the Republicans. They really don't like those far left ideas. And so that's why they're kind of trying to move towards the center, really. And that's why they're walking away from the Democrats. And this is exactly the kind of aspect that would create this kind of a thing. It's certainly what the walk-away movement seems to be feeding off, this sentiment of correcting their perspective, seeing what they missed, forgiving themselves, and moving on. And we can already see, that Mercury is already slowing down at the square, has already brought this movement to the forefront, and I think it's going to continue for a while. And of course, this same sentiment carries into our private lives now, as we are moving into an extended period that will enable us to correct many past errors in our thinking and move forward. And great aspect, it continues for the rest of July and through the month of August. Okay, moving on to some interesting people for this week. Obviously, this guy, Strozik, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, and Lisa Page are the people I really wanted to look at, but I couldn't find Stroke's chart. Can't even find what year he was born in. But I did find Lisa Page, and although all I found was her birth date, not place of birth. But anyway, here's her chart on the outer wheel. Lisa Page, she's the FBI employee who was having an affair with this guy Stroke and was sharing all those emails back and forth. And these are her current transits for the 15th of July. And I was immediately, curious to see what kind of Pluto energy was going on with these people. And sure enough, Pluto square Pluto, 19 degrees of Capricorn to 19 degrees of Libra. You see it there. So, we kind of expected some sort of Pluto transit with her. And yes, this one can be karmic and a bit oppressive. But actually, it's an excellent transit. It can really produce some wonderful transformation in your life. And it's actually a great transit under which to testify and face scrutiny, because it gives you lots of stamina and focus. You're not scatterbrained. You're very focused, and you're very capable of understanding what needs to be said in order to survive. I mean, it's a very powerful transit under which to face so much scrutiny. So it's, no wonder so many members of Congress are saying she did a very good job on the witness stand last Friday. But of course, there is the challenge to things that she has kept in the dark, along with secrets being revealed. Every time we talk about that square from Libra to Capricorn, we say secrets are revealed. And that certainly is the case here, as she has revealed many secrets of the FBI. But I'm also thinking that there's no doubt that the ongoing Pluto opposition Mercury, you see she's got Mercury at 21 degrees of Cancer, and she's already had 2 passes of the transit Pluto opposition Mercury, all while this investigation has been going on. And no doubt that plays into it, and it highlights her natal Mercury square Pluto, which is what gives her the ability to keep secrets so well in the first place, and probably part of what got her so much success in the FBI. But there it is. Her Mercury square Pluto is getting hit by the Pluto opposition Mercury and Pluto square Pluto, and she reveals all of these secrets. Okay, moving along to another one, Rod Rosenstein. There's a lot of talk that he might get impeached this Monday because he has failed to produce evidence that Congress has been asking for a long time. His transits show that Mercury is going over squares to his natal Jupiter opposition Neptune. So on the outer wheel, we have got the natal chart of Rod Rosenstein. I don't have the exact time of birth here, so I'm just using 12 o'clock. And then for this Monday, the 16th, and you'll notice at that point, Mercury will be at 19 degrees of Leo, and you'll see his natal Jupiter at 16 degrees of Taurus opposes his natal Neptune at 19 degrees of Scorpio. So you've just got Mercury square Jupiter, like we've all been going through these days, and he's getting Mercury square Neptune. So this is an interesting thing, because just like that lady Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she also has Jupiter opposition Neptune in her chart, And in her natal chart, she's also got Mercury square those two. And I talked about that and the tendency to embellish the facts. It's very hard to pinpoint the truth with this set of aspects, or in this case, transits, which is being highlighted, I should say, by the position of Jupiter right now. In this case, it's producing a lot of talk about him. So Mercury is under a lot of pressure from, you could say, from his chart to reveal, and a lot of things need to be spoken, but at the same time, it's very hard because there's a lot of deception going on, and a lot of people's perspectives are getting entangled. The transits with him, I see this as likely to produce a lot of activity, like I say, talk and discussion about him and about the Jupiter opposition Neptune kind of things that he's done in his life, the way that he's played loose with the facts, or he's, I should say, taken license to write his own rules. So we'll see him, Mercury, getting him in the news, and apparently not in a good way. And of course, the Mercury going retrograde is going to cause a lot of re-examination of all of this with him. This is going to be a good example of what Mercury square Jupiter is doing on a macro level, and it manifests in his chart for us. It highlights the issues with his natal Jupiter opposition Neptune, his extrajudicial behavior, okay, taking the rules into his own hands. Jupiter loves to write the rules, and this opposition to Neptune, Neptune is so forgiving and unconditional and says, oh yeah, go ahead, do whatever you feel is necessary, that kind of a thing. And now that the Mercury comes in and squares that, all of that kind of extrajudicial activity, it's going to come to the surface. We're going to be examining it 3 times now that Mercury goes retrograde. So his tendency to write the rules is going to come back at him. As well, Jupiter being in the mix with all of this really adds a lot to it. Jupiter brings, or rules, I should say, judicial actions. And the opposition from transiting Jupiter to his natal Jupiter is the moment of culmination for his excessive decisions, executive decisions that he has made. His excessive Jupiter behavior, his overexuberance, playing loose with the facts, writing his own rules, all that could come back to him now at the Jupiter opposition Jupiter. And this transit can often bring conflict with authorities, especially for a guy like him. And the fact that he's going through Sun opposition Sun doesn't exactly help either, does it? Because that brings conflict into your life as well. And lastly, I've noted that Uranus, currently at 2 degrees Taurus, is sextiling his Saturn at 2 degrees Pisces. So let's see if this transit brings a change to his career. Normally a really good transit that enables you to learn something new, characterized as an old dog learns some new tricks. But Uranus could bring some surprises once again this week, so he's one to watch for sure. Issues are great. Going to bring up a lot of political issues. A lot of stuff is getting uncovered. But for the rest of us, for those folks like you and I who are not trying to rule the world, there's a lot of good that can come of this aspect, as we have more ability to correct our thinking, forgive, and move on. This could represent a time of significant breakthrough. Things that are holding you back can get moved aside. And I believe that the more that each of us does this on an individual basis, cleans out our thinking processes and purges the things that parts of our perspective that are no longer functional in these last few months of Jupiter in Scorpio, the more that each of us does this on an individual basis, I think the more apt the politicians will do this at their level. They'll just feel that energy of the collective. It will build, because we're all connected. We're all one. We're all connected, and that's our theme for this week. You know, when you heal yourself, you're doing something good for the planet. And always try to remember that, because really that's the best part of the Pluto Scorpio energy. It has such a incredible transpersonal power, and there's always such a need to utilize this power for the good of everyone concerned. But yet we need to wield it in a personal way. And that's where healing energy from Pluto and Scorpio really comes into play. It enables you to regenerate, and at the same time it empowers you. And it enables you to utilize the Pluto energy in a way that's very healthy and really raises your consciousness. And even though it may be a profoundly personal process, the healing that you do affects the whole of humanity. And it is in that fact that you're doing something that's intrinsically good for everyone and not just yourself. You're not using the Pluto energy for selfish reasons, even though it seems to be a profoundly personal thing. So I just wanted to put that out there, utilizing that Jupiter and Scorpio energy the best we can over the course of the next few months, and how that Mercury square is really going to help us out. Okay, so that's all for this week. I encourage you to check out my website. I'll leave links in the description, tomsocalm.com. And thank you to my subscribers and supporters. And you'll find donation buttons for Patreon and PayPal in the lower right-hand corner of the flower image on my channel homepage. And I've been doing more with the Twitter feeds lately. I did a couple more in the middle of the week, and I'm going to try to do more of that. I know people wanted to get more than just simply a notice of this video coming out each week, and I'm promised to do that more now. So you can follow me on TomJordan364, and I will give regular announcements related to aspects that are going on, as well as, you know, announcements for these videos. As well, of course, I'm an astrologer, so please contact me if you're interested in a natal or transit reading. I'm available for consultations on a regular monthly basis. I like to use astrology as a tool for life coaching. In addition, I really am into Reiki quite a bit. I started a little over 3 years ago, and at this point I'm at a level 3 Reiki master, and I'm taking the teaching program so that I can become a Reiki master teacher. And that's been ongoing the last couple of months, and it's just been a really wonderful focus in my life. It's really great to have something like that going on. And then in September, I look forward to taking the medical Reiki training, which will be another big step for me. So I'm really interested in this, and I always put it out there each week. If you are interested in getting in touch with the energy of Reiki, I can do a long-distance Reiki healing for you. Just contact me at mobilestar7@yahoo.com. Once again, I'll leave links in the description. I also do psychic readings if you happen to be interested in that as well. And I'll leave links and where I post the transcript of these videos as well. Okay, so that's all this week for Weekly Astrology Notes. Once again, thanks for viewing, liking, and sharing my video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Many blessings, and have a great day.